Okay, so now we are starting to deal with exponents, right? Or exponent laws. That's what we're going to look at in this particular lesson. Now first let's talk about what is exponentiation. Well, something you already know is exponentiation is just repeated multiplication. Exponentiation is to multiplication what multiplication is to addition. For example, multiplication, you just repeat addition. When we talk about exponentiation, all we do is repeat multiplication. So let us look at that. If I talk about 1 squared, you know 1 squared is 1 times 1. 2 squared is equal to 2 times 2. 3 squared is equal to 3 times 3. What about 4 squared? That is equal to 4 times 4. Now if we look at, and similarly so, if I talk about 5 squared is going to be 5 multiplied by 5. Now, the idea here is this is the number of times you multiply this thing over here. Now let's quickly clarify some information. If I do something like this, I say 1 to the power of 2. I read this as 1 to the power of 2. The thing on top, or this little 2 over here, this is called an index. It is also called an exponent, or it is called a power, right? It is called the index or the exponent, or also a power. Now, if I look carefully at this, 1 to the power of 2, all that means is I'm going to say it's 1 multiplied by 1. If I look at the following and I say, okay, 2 to the power of 4, 2 to the power of 4, that is equal to 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. In other words, 2 times 2 4 times, right? Or 2 times itself 4 times. Now that's the basics of exponentiation. Firstly, we have 2 to the power of 3. The 3 over here, that is the power or the index or the exponent. And this over here is what we call the base, right? This is called the base. Now, simply put, 2 to the power of 3, this means the following. It means 2 multiplied by itself 3 times. 2 times 2 times 2, 3 times. Okay, so what about cow to the power of chicken? This is again the exponent and this is again the base. So let's clarify that. That's the base and that's the exponent, or the power. Now the exponent over there, we will say this here is cow multiplied by cow a certain number of times. Cow times cow times cow dot 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 and so on times cow. And the number of times that we do that is chicken times. Okay, if you don't fully understand this, go back to the previous 2 minutes of the video and review that. Okay, so let's talk about the first exponent law. Well, if I were to say x to the power of 4, what is the power? The power over there is 4. And what is the base? The base is x. Now there are certain rules. The first rule, we are going to call it the product rule for exponents, right? The product rule. The product rule speaks about when we multiply numbers that have the same base. For example, x to the power of 4 multiplied by x to the power of 3 is equal to x to the power of 4 plus 3. That's the rule, right? Now let me use some numbers and show you how this works. If I have the same base, right, the condition here is the base must be the same. Then I can multiply them, and then I do something with the exponents. Well, if the bases are the same, then I need to add the exponents. Same basis, I need to add the exponents when I multiply them. Okay, so let's use an example with numbers. Let's use an example with numbers. 2 to the power of 2 multiplied by 2 to the power of 3. Now that's going to be 2 to the power of 2 is equal to 4, and 2 to the power of 3 is just 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And that's going to give me the following, 4 times 8. And 4 times 8, 8, 16, 24, 32. Now what about doing it the exponent law way? Well, that's my base, and here I've got the same base. When the bases are the same, I can add the exponents. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that's 2 to the 2 multiplied by 2 to the 3, and that's going to give me the following. It's going to give me 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 2 multiplied by 2 to the power of 3. Let me break it up further. I'm going to say that is 2 times 2. This here is that multiplicand sign, and this here is 2 times 2 times 2. Now that there occurs 5 times, and I can convert that to exponentiation, and simply put, that's going to be 2 to the power of 5. Now as a shortcut, I could notice that the bases are the same base, again, same base. And when I multiply numbers or exponents or variables where the base is the same, all I can do is I can add the exponent. So as a shortcut, I can say this is going to be 2 to the power of 2 plus 3, which is really 2 to the power of 5. Did you see how we can get through to that without this over here? Okay. Now let's do a few examples. Okay, so let's take an example here. 2 to the power of 2 multiplied by 2 to the power of 4. 2 to the power of 2 multiplied by 2 to the power of 4. Okay, well, you know that all that means, right, is the bases are the same. So all I can do is I can keep the base, and I'm multiplying them, right? I'm multiplying, I'm not adding. So I keep the base, and all I do is I add the exponents. I say that's equal to 2 plus 4, and that's going to give me 2 to the power of 6. Let's break it down further. If I want to say 2 to the power of 2 multiplied by 2 to the power of 4, I can break this down. 2 to the power of 2, or 2 squared, is just simply 2 times 2. And then I'm going to put that multiplicand sign there, and then I get times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And how many times do we see the 2 over there? Well, that's 6 times. Now if I see that over there 6 times, I can simply say this is going to be 2 to the power of 6. That's the shortcut, that's the long way. This is using the exponent law. When the bases are the same and I multiply them, all I need to do is add the exponents. Let's look at another example. Example number 2. Right, example number 2, let's say I've got 7 to the power of 1 multiplied by 7 to the power of 3 multiplied by 7 to the power of 2. What can I do here? Well, simply put, that's just going to be 7 to the power of 1 multiplied by, sorry, not 7 to the power of 1, that's just 7 on its own, multiplied by 7 3 times, okay, and I'm going to change the color here. I'm going to put that in red there below. I'm going to say that's 7 times 7 times 7, right, times, and I'm going to underline this in blue. That's going to be 7 times 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And that gives me 7 to the power of 6. Okay. Using the exponent law, I could have also said this thing over here is the equivalent of the following. That is the same as saying 7 to the power of 1 plus 3 plus 2, which gives me 7 to the power of 6. Okay, so from now on we're going to use the exponent laws straight away without breaking it down further. And let me use a few examples here. Again, I've got a base p to the power of 4 dot p to the power of 2. This dot over here is exactly the same as the multiplication sign. So the shortcut is to say if the bases are the same, p and I'm multiplying them, all I need to do is add the exponents. 4 plus 2. That's going to give me p to the power of 6. Okay. Another way of looking at how we multiply things is to say y to the power of 3 bracket y to the power of 11. Now this simply means, again, it's y to the power of 3 multiplied by y to the power of 11. And again, as you can see over here, the bases are the same. That's my base. And that over there is also my base. And clearly, these two bases are identical. Now when the bases are the same, all you do is you keep the base and you add the exponents. It's going to be 3 plus 11. And that gives me y to the power of 14. Okay, so that's the product rule. When the bases are the same and we multiply them, all we need to do is add the exponents. Now here's 2 or 3 for you to try on your own. And I want you to give me the results. Press pause, x to the power of 3 multiplied by x to the power of 4. N squared multiplied by n cubed, or n to the power of 2 multiplied by n to the power of 3. Let's just fix that over there. 3 to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 to the power of 4 multiplied by 3 to the power of 12. And you can give me the results. I'm going to put some more over here for you to try as well. 5 dot 5 to the 3 dot 5 to the 2. Okay, and then you can give me the solutions. And then one more, 3 to the power of 5 multiplied by 3 to the power of 6. Okay, so let's get that going. Press pause, work them all out, and then give me the solutions. Okay, so I take it you've done that. Again, we keep the base because we're multiplying things with the same base, and then we add the exponents. 3 plus 4 is going to give me 7. N squared multiplied by n cubed is just n to the power of 5. And 3, all we do is the base is the same. I'm multiplying things over here, so then I just add the exponents. It's going to be 12 plus 4 is 16, plus 2 is going to be 18. And then on this side, 5 cubed times 5 squared, and if you don't see any exponent or any power, you must know that that power must be 1. Okay, because 5 is the same as 5 to the power of 1. Well, the answer here is just going to be 5 to the power of 6, and the answer over here is just going to be 3 to the power of 11.